Hey guys, or people, whatever. like, like Brexit and stuff. Just so annoys me so much. The way that people actually use a scapegoat. I mean, take it from some of my dad's arguments. For instance, foreigners take all our benefits. Really, about 2/3 of people in the benefit system English, which is you should about 2/3 of the workforce are from the EU. Believe it or not. And also the amount of propaganda about it is a bit crazy. Let's just call it crazy. It's probably more than crazy, but whatever. I mean, the amount of campaigning that was done, is it really that good? What does it actually do apart from isolate us even further from the world? We're not like a different country or something. Although the copyright laws do, yeah, they're not good. Like Article 11, Article 13, yeah, they're not good. Well, basically an internet ban. Go figure. Of course that's something that the EU would do. Or is it? Well, it is, really. Yeah, but... because the EU have also funded things like CERN. Well, helped the existence of it between the different borders of the countries. And without it, things like CERN would never exist. As well as a few other things. But what we have sacrificed to get it? Not much, really. I mean, it's unification. In the days like this, where the world is getting more and more advanced, where there isn't really much else to do apart from sit on the earth, use all its resources, and then complain at each other and follow everything else like sheep. That's what we are, really, isn't it? I mean, the amount of marketing and stuff. The other day I had my song, my mum, she literally wouldn't shut up about like this one of those songs from an advert. I forgot what it was. Not like actually, but seriously, when there's like a billboard or advert, she always like reads it out. What's the point? It's just advertising. You don't need to read every single thing out you see. But unfortunately, it doesn't help that most of our society is pretty much just sheep. There's actually very few people in control of what they do. Right to a point. All the things you see, music, books, well, mostly the creative stuff just tell you to break free from society. Because in truth, that's all what we need, kinda. We need to stop following the tide and following, well, everyone else to know who we actually are. If we followed everyone and every single thing they did, who would we be apart from mindless robots? We wouldn't have taste, dislikes, personality. Good, but it's more than that. It's somewhere in between. Do you have a soul? Or do we not? Or is it just numbers? It's hard to tell. But annoyingly, Brexit. So immigration, yeah. Oh my god, where am I going to start? So, in this case, the people from the EU are being used as scapegoats by the people who it won't actually affect. Also, it's mostly the people who are on benefits reaping the system, then complaining that it's everyone else's fault. I mean, we can see what's happening there, can't we? I mean, the 1940s. That was a tough time, wasn't it? 1930s, yeah. I mean, we know what happened there, didn't we? Germany. Gone and done it again, didn't they? But still, I mean, there's always going to be scapegoats in a society, but is it really necessary? Why do we even have them in the first place? Why can't we take the blame from ourselves, get on it, actually sort something out? I mean, there's no point talking about it unless something's done. And unfortunately, that's the popular argument. Because you need to know what's actually happening before it gets done. You can't just go into something mindless. I mean, most of it was just a big propaganda mission to try and see what the public does, I'd say. Also, one thing that really annoys me is TV. So, like, there's nothing like there's a TV on about why do people slim so much. I mean, my mum is literally almost obsessed with the program. I mean, literally, why? It's also interesting why they put it on in the first place. Marketing. People would actually watch it, but why would they watch it? Because they're concerned about slimming. But 2/3, I mean, according to statistics and other stuff I've seen, about 2/3 of UK adults are obese. And they put that on and it gets views. Yes, people want to. What does that tell you? If people want to do something but never actually have the willpower to do so. This is just key senator of our society who always say stuff but never mean it. Look at social media, for instance. How much crap gets said on there and none of it is actually true or acted upon. People never stick to their word or whatever they say. Where's truth in a society like this, where words are meaningless and they can just be chucked around? I mean, look at cyberbullying, for instance. That's been on the rise a lot. You'd be surprised how many people are actually affected by it. Not me, but I know a few people who have. We always want to pin the blame on someone, no matter who it is, whether they be innocent or actually guilty for once. This making of our world, really, isn't being the greatest. I mean, how much do you fall into the trap of marketing and stuff? An example of this was actually Hollister a while back. Like, it wasn't mainly a thing in the UK, but the USA it really was big. Because the marketing and stuff, they all... Yes, Thomas, you can go away. Yeah, whatever. So, sorry about that. But they actually got sued for having music too loud that made people nervous. Then, like, hot guys. Yeah. Then they had hot guys in, like, t-shirts and wearing their clothes. And they wouldn't let anyone who wasn't, like, the perfect human... Well, what's perfect in reality, but they wouldn't let anyone who's a perfect human actually work in the shop. Nowadays, that's kind of gone. I mean, the lighting as well. Though that was a while back. But is an evidence of how our social structures actually change, about how we do things. Why did this even happen, or things like this happen in the first place? It's just a pressure marketing technique. Also, enjoy the cat. Yes. 10-hour video of a cat ASMR. As you do. So go on. But everything you see, I mean, how are we more than sheep? Just sheep. To most things, we're just numbers on a page. Also, like, what are we more than just numbers on a page to get money from, to people complain, and then to people to abuse other people to get higher up? I mean, they're not necessarily abuse, but kind of cheat the system a little bit. The system that's meant to put us down and keep the people in power, and to keep ordinary people where we are. But, in a world like this, times have changed. Things are kind of where they are, they're kind of solidified. They haven't really moved much for the last few years from where they are. Look at the cringe 90 for crying out loud. Sorry I keep saying crying out loud, because, yeah, whatever. I mean, look at H.P. Lovecraft. He was kind of before his time. The sort of things he wrote then, like, just becoming popular now. But why is that? Because we want something different from the ordinary. We don't want the world that we live in. We want like a fantasy or something that isn't real. Why? Because we're not satisfied with the world that we live in. Right? No one isn't really happy with anything anymore. there's more people that destroy nowadays than create. Whereas like in the Industrial Revolution, everyone was like working. Times are hard. People, if you didn't work, your family would starve. And that actually did happen. Oh, yes, I know. Anyway, again, cats, people, just cats, I guess. But the world we live in, how is it any different? People always work, but they go up, down. But the people at the top, their positions, really, don't change that much. But no one is ever happy with what they have. I mean, the amount of stuff we check out, the reason is because we've just been manipulated for like years. Like since advertising became a thing. It's a slow process, but it's weakened our mental state to what it is now, where we're just susceptible to just buying everything, not giving a care for what it does, what it came from, etc, etc, etc. I mean, funny example of this. You know, like petrol station garages, things, you never actually have any of the cheap stuff, the expensive stuff. So, and if you don't get it, you try to get the cheap stuff and go to the supermarket, which is right next door. Not here, obviously, but what's next door to the garage. They've got the cheap stuff, but you have to walk, but they're like right at the back of the shop, and you have to walk through everything to get there. That's the sort of world we live in. So you're more likely to pick up something else that you don't need and buy it, but that's just the world. What is it? Can we change that sort of thing? Can we live in a world that's actually fair for once? But why should it affect it? I mean, gambling as well. Think of when you were younger. Do you like go to the seaside, the arcade? I mean, it was more common like 20 years ago when our society is so self-defeating as well. I mean, look at feminism. I mean, it's all well and good, but by actually admitting it, feminism actually started in like the 1800s. But who really noticed then? People just, yeah. I mean, it's getting a worse and worse issue. It's become more and more mindless. So, well, what can be helped by that? We can do it. We can. People nowadays. Well, no, I'm starting to sound like an 80-year-old crying out loud. I'm not an 80-year-old, for instance. If you're wondering, I'm not immortal. I'm not a vampire. Not a cyborg. Probably a sociopath, but whatever. Who knows? But the worldview of most people nowadays is so self-defeating. I mean, look at science. What do we have to live for? Without a point, where do we stand? Without a world that we like, the world that we're happy with, the world that we want, where will we stand? I've got a question for you. What will you do? No, I shouldn't do that. Thanks for watching and goodbye.